Have you ever wondered what the difference is between a cheap and an expensive putter? Well, Scotty Cameron is usually the first name that we think of when we hear the phrase expensive putter. And that's mainly what we're going to be looking at today with this new Scotty Cameron that I have right here. And this is the Special Select JetSet limited edition release. And yes, that was a bit of a mouthful, but last week these were retailing at £599 English pounds. Whereas now, because there was only a limited amount of these actually made, you can probably find these up for sale on eBay for over £1,000. And that pretty much sums up perfectly why you can usually find these at the top end of the price scale in the first place. Because they're always releasing limited releases, they're pretty much just more like a collectible item than anything. And they do hold the value incredibly well, and definitely a lot more than any other brand. But by simply putting a high price tag on anything, you can instantly increase the value of whatever it may be. So I think them things alone are good enough reasons for the price being so high on Scotty Camerons. But are there actually any differences in the putter itself? Well, the average price of a putter, I would say, would probably be somewhere around £150 to £200, with then some of the higher end models in TaylorMade and Ping being up close to £300, and then an average price of a Scotty is going to set you back between £350 to £400. So if we start off by taking a look at the lower end of the scale and comparing that to the Scotty, as you should probably expect, there is quite a bit of a difference between them. Now, I actually don't think there's anything wrong with the cheaper putters where the overall price of it is less than that of the grip or the head cover of a Scotty Cameron, because if you start the ball on the right line at the right pace, then it's always going to go into the hole, and you can do that with whatever putter you may find. However, something more on the premium side, like the Scotty Cameron, is just going to make it a lot easier to be able to do that. And the main reasons for that is just how easy they are to line up, how they actually sit on the ground, and how the ball reacts coming off the face. So the main thing you'll notice before you hit the ball is that if you try setting a cheap putter up behind the ball, if you just drop it into place, you'll find that it wants to move out of that position. Whereas if you do the same thing with a Scotty Cameron, it just sits so flush to the ground and it just won't budge anywhere. The weighting then in more premium clubs is just positioned in a way where it just makes it a lot easier for your stroke to be a lot more consistent, while also getting a lot better feel of the ball and just really helping you to gauge the pace of the greens a lot easier. And for the likes of Scotty Cameron, they have put a lot of money into the research for finding out what the best way of positioning the weight between the shaft and the head to give you the best outcome. But the main difference that you'll see between cheap and expensive putters is just how the ball reacts coming off the face. So on your more expensive putters, not only will it feel a lot softer and just a lot nicer while giving you a much nicer sound, but it's also just a lot more consistent. So if you were to hit two of the exact same putts from dead center on the club face, with a Scotty Cameron as an example, you might find that the ball will travel maybe like an inch apart from each other. And then if you did the exact same two strokes with a cheaper putter, you might find that it ends up going like 2 foot away from each other, which is why they're desired more by better players, because anything that just makes it more consistent, the better the player you are, the more you're going to notice that. And that's basically the difference as well between mid-range price putters and the top-end range putters, is that the margins of difference aren't quite as big, but the better player will definitely notice this. So then someone who maybe just isn't quite at the same level probably won't notice too much difference between them. But I personally do think there are putters out there which are just as good as Scotties, if not a bit better. But really it's just each to their own when you're looking at any top-end range putters. Between like the Bettinardi, Scotty Cameron, top-end Ping and TaylorMade putters, you're probably not going to notice too much difference in performance, but it then just relates back to the branding of it again. And then the final thing, which I think is pretty obvious, which I've not actually touched on, is just what the material is made from. So your more expensive putters are going to be made from more expensive material, and what that does is it just makes the putter last a bit longer, so you're getting more use out of it, while also that's the reason why it's giving you the distinctive feel and makes it just feel smoother than putters that aren't quite as expensive. And again, it just depends on what level you're at to how much you're going to notice that difference. But anyway, just to finish off, I decided to come back down on this cold rainy night in Stoke-on-Trent just to have a little 9-hole blade off between the Scotty Cameron that we've been reviewing and this TaylorMade Redline, which is probably just below an average price putter. And it's pretty simple. I'm going to play 9 holes on the putting green, just having a head-to-head with these two, stroke play, and whichever one wins is obviously going to be the best putter between the two. So seeing as the Redline is the guest of this video, it has the honour of going first, so let's get things underway. Level par 3 1 for the Redline. Now the Scotty Cameron's turn. exactly the same. Every hole is going to be a par 2 as well, just to make things easier, and there is only 8 holes, so at the end I'm just going to do one from one end of the green to the other. So the red line still has the honour. Honestly, the greens are literally soaking wet. Oh, I thought it drained it. Literally been a monsoon all day. The state of the hole. Hole 2, and it's the Scotty's turn to tee off. He's got it. No, he hasn't hit it. So both remain level par through 2. So still on the red line on hole 3. One has to drop soon, surely. Now it's the Scotty's turn to see if we can actually get one in. That should be a good line. It's done exactly the same again. Still just straight pars for both of them. So a bit of a longer one this one, a bit more of a tester. And the red line up first. Good pace, great pace. Knock the Scotty one down there with it this time. It's a better line. Nope, just a bit short, that's what she said. So 4 2-putts over 4 holes. So hole number 5 now, and they're all pretty short all the way in, so I would expect to make at least one 1-putt during these few holes. Still with the red line, that's got a chance. There we go. So let's see if the Scotty can follow it in here, otherwise they're going to be slacking behind a bit. Chance. Oh my god, I actually can't believe that's not gone in. So 1 under for the TaylorMade, and still level par for the Scotty. Hole number 6, and I might need to speed this up a bit because we are losing a bit of daylight. Give it a good chance. That's raced by. That is a little tester right there. Anyway, see if the Scotty can do any better this time. Better pace, just not turned in as much. Easy par for Mr. Cameron. First little tester I've had between either one of them. Solid as a rock. I have to say, really, there isn't really that much difference between these two. Like, there is a bit of a different feel off the face, but they're just performing pretty much identical to each other. If anything, I feel like the red line is just a bit easier to keep the face square, and it just feels like I've got more chance of holding it with this TaylorMade one than I do with the £600 Scotty. Although it is starting to race by. I feel like the Scotty does definitely need to make one soon though. Pretty much identical. Again, a couple of little testers here. Actually, it should be pretty interesting to see how these actually do under this pressure. Cool as a cucumber. So hole number 8, and you definitely feel like the Scotty is running out of time here. It is a short one though, so anything can happen really. Oh, I've not hit it. Par again. I feel like the Scotty definitely needs to hole this to have any chance of getting anything from this match. Chance. It's only gone and done it. It's only gone and done it. So all to play for on this 9th hole. Both 1 under par for the round now. Going to that far one right in the distance on the other end of the putting green. By far the furthest one that we've had. First time that the Scotty's had the honour. Seems to be alright that, you know. Bit on the hard side, but it's hard to say with all the rain that we've been having. I don't know if this is actually showing how good the putters are or the reason why I don't tend to use blade putters, to be honest. Nevertheless, there is the red lines attempt. It looks a bit on the short side. Looks pretty close, but I'd have to say that the red line probably looks just that bit further away. So in the eyes of the red line, this is the definition of a pressure putt right here. This is a bit left to right, and the Scotty's coming back the other way, right to left, which I do much prefer that type of putt. That is an absolute great putt under the circumstances. So the Scotty needs this to tie level with the TaylorMade, and this putt just got a whole lot longer. But you know what they say, big putts make big men. Oh my god, that was so close to missing. And also so close to losing to a putter that costs £500 less. So after finishing that 9-hole blade off where they both finished 1 under par, I now know how to sum up this video perfectly. So if someone handed me these 2 putters and they just removed all the names from it and just completely unbranded each one, and they said, here you go, just use whichever one you're going to put the best with no cost to them at all, it would be hard to pick between the 2 because they were that similar. Now, even though the Scotty did feel a lot nicer off the face and it just felt a lot softer, I just felt like I did have more chance of holing a putt with the TaylorMade. However, if somebody offered me either one of these free of charge and they said, here you go, take your pick between these two, then obviously I would go with the Scotty because, well, it's a Scotty Cameron at the end of the day. Also because a putter will last for years, and it's better to basically treat it as an investment, because if you do look after them well, you can get a good return if you do decide to come to sell it. But it's not like you're having to change a putter every other year. But anyway, that is all for today. So thanks for watching as usual. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and I will see you in the next one.